Guys, I went through every single developer stream, interview, and info dump that I could find on Deep Rock Galactic Rogue Core to put this video together. Hours of gameplay footage and developer commentary, so this should definitely cover everything relevant worth knowing before this one hits early access on May 20th. So of course, this is a co-op first-person shooter roguelite, where you play as dwarves fighting through alien-infested mining facilities. It is a proper spin-off of Deep Rock Galactic, not a sequel, and not a DLC, and not a major update either. It's a standalone game, and it plays completely differently. Instead of mission-based gameplay where you gather resources and extract, you're doing roguelite runs, where you start with just a pickaxe, find weapons and gear as you go, and try to push as deep as possible, before you either die or beat the boss. The whole setup here is that something called the Greyout cut off contact with Deep Rock Galactic's mining operations on the planet Hoxes, and you are part of their Reclaimers, which is basically an elite security force sent to investigate and take back control. You fight through procedurally generated caves, connected by elevators, going deeper with each level. The enemies are core spawn, which are nastier and more aggressive than the bugs from the original game. The caves use a system that developers call beds on a string, where handcrafted rooms get stitched together in random combinations. We have seen this in quite a few games so far, and this design philosophy seems to be one of the better ones out there, rather than purely being procedural. Here's how the basic gameplay loop works. You drop in with up to 4 players, and immediately start looking for weapons, because you have nothing but your pickaxe. Everything is randomized, so you might find a shotgun and fire grenades one run, then a grenade launcher and cryo grenades the next. As you kill enemies and explore, you collect Expenite, the green glowing resource scattered everywhere, and once you have gathered enough of this resource, you hit a threshold and can pick upgrades from a shared pool when the upgrade time comes. All 4 players see the same options and take turns picking. You can mark what you want with a little heart icon, but someone else might grab this item first. The user interface doesn't clearly show what your teammates are building toward, so you either communicate constantly or just hope things work out. The developers are aware this is a problem and say it's a priority to fix. The upgrades themselves are of course what makes each one different. You can get an upgrade that freezes enemies when you have active armor, then later find one that makes frozen enemies explode when you kill them, or you stack fire damage, or critical hits, or health regeneration. There are different rarity tiers from common to legendary. The game has 5 classes. Guardian has crowd control with a shockwave. Slicer gets a big sword that does massive damage, plus a dash to zip around. Falconer has a bird drone that flies around attacking enemies with electrical damage and can revive downed teammates remotely. Redcon can rewind time, which means you activate your ability, run around for about 15 seconds doing whatever, and then snap back to where you started, with exactly the health and ammo you had before. The Spotter has a drone that marks enemies for bonus damage, and can also drop an ammo pack for the whole team. Each class furthermore has secondary abilities you activate through a wrist gauntlet. You're racing against the timer the entire run. There's a clock in the corner, and if it runs out, the game doesn't end immediately, but starts throwing way more enemies at you, so you're constantly deciding whether to explore for more loot, or rush to the next elevator level. Keep in mind that the timer pressure here is not an afterthought. It's a rather huge part of the design, and keeps the pace fast. The game also has optional events, like hacking security terminals, or defending cargo. The combat itself thankfully feels faster and more punishing than the original. You have armor and health as separate bars, and when you take damage you lose armor first of course. The armor doesn't regenerate on its own, unless you find armor packs or get specific upgrades. Your health only comes back if you find red sugar crystals. These are growing on walls. You can also pick up healing upgrades. Fall damage is also a thing, which keeps catching people off guard, since Deep Rock Galactic doesn't have this. The enemies include creepers, which are basic melee guys, scorchers that shoot fire, vomiters that spray acid, claymore heads with armored shells. These only take damage when the mouth opens, and these horrifying tentacles that grab you and won't let go until you shoot them enough. The boss fights happen at the end of runs. The bosses might be a bit too easy right now. The developers admitted this, because if you make it to the boss with decent gear, then it feels more like a victory lap than a real challenge. The caves are more linear than in the original Deep Rock Galactic, and they need to be. You are following a cable on the ground that leads to the next elevator, instead of exploring in all directions. The terrain deformation still exists, and you can use drills or pickaxes, but it matters a bit less, because the caves are more structured with pre-built rooms. The traversal tools like grappling hooks, platform guns, ziplines, and drills are randomized loot. The game also offers a harder challenge mode called Gauntlet, where you're just trying to reach the exit as fast as possible, while meeting a kill quota. Between runs, you're in the Ramrod, which is a massive mining ship. This one serves as your hub. You have various customization options for your dwarf here, and a progression system for unlocking gear and cosmetics. As for some of the problems I observed, the user interface seems to have issues all over the place. For example, icons on the terrain scanner get blocked by walls. Abilities don't clearly explain what they do. Then of course there's the shared upgrade system that frustrates people. Balancing is of course also still an issue, and the tutorial seems rather bare bones. Keep in mind this game launches on PC only, and the early access lasts about 18 to 24 months, following the same approach as Deep Rock Galactic. And this sentence concludes today's video. If your time was respected, a like or comment is very much appreciated.